Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, imagine this. You walk into a big company office, maybe in Seoul, and someone tells you 49 while.
Which translates to, I'm in my 40s, but I'm the youngest one here.
Exactly. Pretty striking, right? And it actually sets up what we're diving into today. We're looking at this, well, frankly, fascinating trend from some sources you brought in, the way younger workers seem to be, well, disappearing from South Korea's biggest companies.
Yeah, vanishing is maybe a strong word, but the numbers are definitely heading that way. Our mission today is really to unpack the findings from CEO Score. They're a corporate data research group in Korea.
Right.
And they looked at the sustainability reports.
Right.
These are pretty detailed annual reports from 67 of Korea's top 100 companies by sales. So, big players.
The biggest.
Pretty much. We've got data covering 2022 right through to 2024. And the goal is, to get beyond just the surface numbers and understand what's really going on.
Because, like you said, this isn't just a small shift. The data seems to show a really rapid drop in the proportion of young employees at these huge companies. That quote really hits home.
It does.
So let's get into the specifics. What did CEO Score actually find about employees in their 20s?
Well, the trend is unmistakable. The share of employees in their 20s, it fell from 24.8% back in 2022.
Okay, about a quarter.
Yeah, roughly. Then it dropped to 22.7% in 2023, and then down again to 21.0% in 2024.
So just doing the math quickly, that's, what, almost 4 percentage points?
It's a 3.8 percentage point drop in just 2 years. And, what's interesting is this isn't just some slow demographic drift. It feels like a pretty deliberate change in who these companies are bringing in.
And we should probably translate those percentages into actual people, right? Because proportions can sometimes hide the scale.
Absolutely crucial. The actual number of employees in their 20s just plummeted. It went down by 47,498 people.
Wow, almost 50,000.
Almost 50,000 fewer 20-somethings. From over 291,000 in 2022 down to just under 244,000 in 2024.
That's a huge number of entry-level or early career positions just gone or not filled by that age group.
Exactly. And think about this. More than half of the companies, they looked at 38 out of the 67, so that's about 57%, saw their share of 20-something workers decrease. It's widespread.
Okay, so that's one side of the coin, fewer younger workers. What about the other age groups? Did they see changes too?
They did, and this is where the picture gets even sharper. During that exact same time frame, 2022 to 2024, the number of employees aged 30 and above actually went up.
Oh, interesting. By how much?
It increased by over 35,000 people, rose from about 880,000 to almost 916,000.
So you've got nearly 50,000 fewer 20-somethings and over 35,000 more people aged 30 plus.
Right.
That really paints a picture, doesn't it? The workforce in these major Korean companies is actively and pretty quickly getting older. It's not just about fewer grads getting hired. The whole center of gravity seems to be shifting upwards in age.
That's a good way to put it. A definite shift in the age profile.
So the next question is obvious, I guess. Is this happening everywhere equally, or are some specific companies or industries feeling this more intensely?
Yeah, the research did break that down. And some companies saw really dramatic drops in their 20-something ratio between 2022 and 2024. It's quite systemic across major sectors, actually.
Like who? Give us some examples.
Okay, so Samsung Display had the biggest drop by far. Their ratio of 20-something employees went from 43.8%.
Wow, nearly half.
Yeah, down to 28.4%. That's a massive 15.4 percentage point decrease. Like almost a third of their young workforce proportion just vanished in 2 years.
15 points. That's staggering.
It really is. But they weren't the only ones. You see big drops at SK, that's down 12.3 percentage points.
Yeah.
LG Intertech down 8.9 points. SK Hynix 8.8 points. Samsung SDI 7.9 points.
These are huge names in tech and manufacturing.
Absolutely. And it continues. Naver, the internet giant, down 7.1 points.
Yeah.
Samsung Electronics itself, 6.6 points. Hanwha Solutions, 6.4. Samsung Electromechanics, 5.9. LG Display, 5.6 points.
It's quite a list.
It is. And what's really fascinating, as you said, is how many are in these leading tech and manufacturing areas. Places you normally associate with needing fresh ideas, constant innovation.
Which you often get from younger talent, right? So if these are the companies feeling it most, what's driving this? What's the explanation behind this rapid aging?
Well, Joe Won-man, who's the CEO of CEO Score, offered some key reasons. He pointed straight at the increased economic uncertainty. That seems to be the main driver.
Okay, uncertainty leading to?
Leading companies to basically rethink their entire hiring approach. A lot of them have either just scrapped or really cut back on those traditional big annual recruitment drives for new graduates.
Ah, the gum chase system, they call it, right? Those massive hiring events.
Exactly. That used to be the main path into these companies for young Koreans, but now that's shrinking or gone. Instead, they're shifting towards what's called rolling recruitment.
Meaning they hire just when they need someone specific.
Pretty much. Hire is needed, often for specific roles, rather than bringing in a large cohort to train up. And maybe the biggest factor is this really strong preference now for Genyokjik.
Experienced hires.
Yes, experienced hires. Companies clearly want people who can hit the ground running, who can be productive immediately. They seem less willing, or perhaps less able in this climate, to invest the time and resources in training entry-level talent from scratch.
So connecting the dots, it sounds like caution, efficiency, maybe even short-term thinking driven by the economy.
I think that's right. It points to a very cautious, efficiency-focused mindset, looking for immediate return on investment when it comes to people, which means prioritizing proven experience over potential. It's a shift from maybe long-term talent building to more immediate, skills-based hiring.
Okay, so let's bring this back to the listener. You might be sitting there thinking, okay, interesting trend in Korea, but why does this matter to me? It might seem far away.
But it's really not just a local story. Well, this whole situation gives us a really clear window into how global economic jitters and changing corporate strategies are actually playing out on the ground in real time.
Right.
The pressures these huge Korean companies are facing, the economic uncertainty, the need for efficiency, they could easily mirror what's happening or what might happen in other major economies.
So it's like a potential case study.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For young people listening, maybe recent graduates, it raises real questions about how you enter these big established corporate structures if the traditional doors are closing.
And for more experienced people.
Well, for them, it suggests maybe their skills and experience are highly valued right now, that immediate contribution capability is at a premium. But it also hints at how quickly corporate priorities can shift.
Yeah, definitely. It influences the whole job market, the company culture.
Yeah.
It could be an early sign of broader shifts in how companies worldwide are adapting to, well, a less predictable world. So just to recap then, we've seen this pretty dramatic aging happening in major Korean corporations. A significant drop in workers in their 20s.
Big drop. Yeah.
Driven largely by economic uncertainty, which has led to this shift away from hiring new grads and a really strong preference for bringing in experienced people.
That sums it up well, and it leaves us with a really important question to think about, doesn't it?
Which is?
What are the long-term effects of this? For innovation, for the culture inside these companies, and even for the competitiveness of economies like South Korea's that rely so heavily on these giant corporations.
Right. If you focus so intensely on experienced hires, are you potentially missing out on the fresh thinking, the different perspectives that younger generations bring? Does it stifle new ideas down the road?
Or does it actually make these companies leaner, more efficient, maybe more resilient, at least in the short term?
It's a tough balance.
It is. There's no easy answer. But it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on, not just in Korea, but as you look at your own economic landscape, wherever you are. And maybe even think about how it relates to your own career path in the coming years.